Okay, on the idea of the difference between self-defense martial arts, martial skills that are going to serve you in a defending yourself, taking care of yourself in real life scenarios, versus the military versions of those fighting skills. Again, there's the separation martial arts. You got the sport martial arts, the kid martial arts, the Budo arts, over on this side, and then on the other side of the equation, you have the combat arts, the war arts, the Bujutsu. So and then there are modern applications like when we get down to talking the Krav Maga. And the Russians have Systema. There's a bunch of different applications of that. But the functional real-world martial arts, you're already on the side of like real martial skills that will work in real life. One thing it's good to understand too is the military application ones might be, and they are a little bit different than the application of just you as a person defending yourself with one person or you and your family there. And you want to understand that. So just finding some guy that used to be, an Israeli, we get some guys at school used to be Israeli Special Forces guys, and we're the real thing. We're actually out there doing it, have that kind of training. Or finding a guy like that, yeah, they can teach you some really functional, fundamentally, sound things. But the main difference is it's military application. The military that trains them has certain goals in mind. That don't always mean that you personally have to survive that encounter. If you're with a squad of 15 guys and you have to get, over the wall and, onto the helicopter or something, it might be a situation where they might do a move under time pressure, or they have to get to a certain location at a certain time, that they could wait an hour and make sure it's more likely everyone's going to survive. They have a mission to do, so they're going to go right now and take a higher risk that they might lose one of you. So things like that. Sometimes certain military, like knife defenses, they might bull on through the thing. Let me do like a barrier block and just fire right on through the guy. They're taking more chance about them getting a counter thrust, counter stab, but it's quicker. They can get right through. They can get on to the next thing. Again, they have acceptable casualties. As just a person defending yourself, you don't really have acceptable casualties. It's not like, oh, okay, I got killed, but something else good happened. The only time that happens is when you're standing there in front of your family, your loved ones, and somebody's trying to get you guys. You might have a situation where, no, I'm going to stay right in the doorway of my house and I'm going to put this guy down, and I might take more damage, but I'm not going to retreat or move or do whatever because I got my people behind me. So that's the only time that you get more into that mode. But that's the sort of difference. It's easier to see in person. We'll explain a little bit, but just understand that sometimes the application of what they do is a little bit different from the military application to like a civilian application where you don't really have acceptable casualties when it's just you by yourself. We'll do what we need to do to survive and protect ourselves. We're not going to take major damage just to get it done a little quicker, or just to make it so that the 5 people with us can move forward a little bit quicker. And sometimes they have things like that. We'll show them to you in class what we mean specifically, but understand that the goals are a little bit different. So when you're using just straight military application stuff for your civilian, and then also one other aspect of that is sometimes military application, you're just trying to put this guy down and kill him. There's very little like they're going to teach you about submissions or just controlling somebody or stunning somebody. So you might have certain applications they do. They just they break the elbow, snap the neck, crush the throat, and that's their application, because if they're actually engaged with somebody, they're trying to do them significant harm. A lot of times in civilian life, you might be engaged with somebody, but you're not really trying to kill this guy. You're not really trying to maim this guy, just the opposite. You're trying to stop him from hurting you and maybe put him down, maybe stun him. It's possible you could be in a real difficult circumstance where, yeah, I'm just fighting full on for my life. This guy's fighting full on with the ability and the desire to hurt me, kill me, maim me. So I'm hitting him with really lethal technique. But for the most part, that doesn't happen. It's some guy just trying to bother you. It's some guy trying to steal your stuff. It's some guy trying to just hit you because he, is in a bad mood, or he just thinks it'll be fun. You don't really have a thing where you're fighting for your life full on, but you are fighting for your safety. And then beyond that, you might even be fighting for your life full on, but you don't want to have every single technique be like a lethal technique. You kill this guy, you're going to have to deal with that. If you could have put him down quickly, easily, and even more effectively with lesser techniques that just took the guy out of the fight, it would be nice to have those techniques. You can make your decision at that point what you want to use. So that's kind of like a quick thought on some military versus civilian, hardcore, martial skills. There's just some slight differences there about application and about martial philosophy. We'll talk more about it in class, but you should understand that before you go out, just find some ex-commando guy and say, show me what you guys used to do. It's applicable to his circumstances. It's probably not so much for you as a regular civilian walking around, or even for you like in law enforcement. You don't want to be just the guy that just starts breaking elbows and knees when you do a submission. That will get you no problems. It's nicer to have options. A spectrum of possibilities from controlling, escaping, on up to stunning and taking the guy down, incapacitating somebody, and then submissions, and then all the way up to significant harm. You have the whole spectrum of possibilities rather than just full-on lethal, very aggressive techniques. You want to have all the skills, not just the military skills.